One question we ask everyone is what's one book that changed your life? I should add the caveat. No one ever really says one book, even though we specify one book.
I will say one book because this is gonna make me sound like such a dick, but I'm just being honest. I've wanted to be a writer since I was 6 years old. I'm a control freak and I've been one since I was 6 years old. And one of the reason I've wanted to be a writer since I was a child is because I like telling stories. I was a voracious reader, and this is where the dickness comes into play. But I'm a voracious reader and I love reading, but I always, ever since I was a kid, I would read it and be like, well, if I wrote it, it would go to like this instead. Like I'm just that nitpicky, and I'll be like, it'll be something as simple as, well, I would have given the princess brown hair. You know what I mean? And I've always been like that. So even though I really enjoy reading, it's always like there's a wall in some situation or some sense because I want to change the story. And that's why I like storytelling, is it allows me to be a control freak. The story gets to go however I want it to go. That's why I have one book that changed my life. And it was in the 4th grade. I read Ella Enchanted, which is a very famous Cinderella retelling. That was the first and maybe the only book I've read in my entire life where I just got completely invested. Just like everything that was happening, I was here for it. I was just like, I remember I finished the book. We had to run errands and it was nighttime, and I was with her in the car and I was finishing the book. I insisted on turning the car light on because it was pitch black and I had to finish the book. I was so invested in that story. I just loved it with every fiber of my being. And I just remember thinking, this is how I want to make people feel when I write books. This is how I want to make people feel once I become an author. And that's how it inspired me, because even though I really love reading and I'm constantly reading, I've got my bookshelf behind me with all of my TBR and everything. It's very hard for me to get fully invested because I can't turn the writer brain off. I can't turn the little like, oh, I noticed you forgot a comma, or, oh, that's a shift in, character perspective. I can't turn that side of my brain off. This is the only book I've ever read that I was able to do that with. One of my fans, Aria, got me a signed copy of Ella Enchanted because I mentioned it on my channel and I cried. I bawled like a baby. That book just meant a lot to me because it showed me this is how people are supposed to feel when they read. This is probably how a lot of people feel when they read. And I just never had that experience. And it taught me basically what to aim for with my own fiction. So yeah.
That's so cool. I love that you got a signed copy of it.
I know. And it was sent by one of my subscribers. And it's just, oh my gosh, like I have it on display in my bookshelf. And it's very, very special to me.